So I want to talk about some of the big mistakes that businesses make when leveraging email marketing within their business to stay in touch with customers, consumers, their subscribers. So let's start with the 3 levels of engagement. So when you generate a lot of leads into your business, even just a little bit of, it could be small amount, could be large amount, what you want to do is understand what type of engagement they took, or how new they are into the system. So we look at 3 things, our 3 levels of engagement. One is clicks, who's opening and clicking in an email, because that's telling us what kind of content they like, and also if they're real and they're paying attention to what we've got. We also want to look at opens. So are they opening email? Now opens is kind of a tricky thing, but definitely a metric you want to kind of keep an eye on to see if they are opening. First and foremost and most important is clicks, second is opens, and then the third one is how many people have subscribed recently. And the reason these metrics are important is because a lot of times, as in marketing, a mistake I made back in the day was we would send emails. We had over 100,000 people on our email list on one of our newsletters that we had back in the day, and I was mailing those 100,000 people all the time. Well, you're paying for all those emails that you send, and what was happening is our open rates and our clicks kept going down. It didn't matter. I just kept forcing it and mailing, and it was like, well, if they don't unsubscribe, they want to hear from me. It's really not the case, and that's why you want to look at those 3 metrics, because a couple of things is, looking at those metrics, you can create the segments and sunset policy, but you can create these things that allow you to only speak to engaged people, rise your engagement rates, rise your reputation with the Gmail and Yahoo and AOL and all of that if you do what I'm about to talk about. So the sunset policy and the segments is, we talked about clicks, opens, and new ads. So our segments are, let's say you want to do something with you get a lot of leads coming in. For example, we had 91,000 plus leads come in last week, and we lost about 21,000 as well with unsubscribes and falling out of what I'm about to talk about. So we had a net of around 60,000 that we gained right on the system, so inside of our newsletters. But what's important about this is we look at people who have clicked in the last 90 days. So we want to say, hey, we want to run a search, who's clicked in 90 days, who's opened in 60 days, and who's been newly added in 30 days. This is a very basic email segment that you can do that's going to guarantee that you got the most engaged, at least a good amount of engaged leads that you're emailing to regularly. And that way your metrics for deliverability will stay up. So when you bring new leads into the system and you acquire new leads, what'll happen is you're going to have a better chance of getting into the inbox. Now, if you were not to do that segment, you were to just mail the whole list, right? What'll happen is your domain, your brand will get a bad reputation with Gmail, Yahoo, AOL. And when you do that, you're not going to get in the inbox. You're going to spend money on leads, and then you're going to turn around and send emails to those leads that aren't going to be seen, it's going to screw up all your metrics and your numbers and your engagement. And then in turn, you're going to make less money inside your business because email's not working effectively. So super important. Now, what we call the sunset policies, we have that segment. If somebody does not fall within that segment, what we do is we sunset them. We don't mail them anymore because we're more worried about people that are engaging in communicating with us than people that aren't. And so we push them out of the list. Now we have some kind of follow-up engagement campaigns that we run to try and get them back involved and opening again and put them back into that current segment. So we do some of that stuff, and we actually go through that. I have a pull process training that I do and take you through kind of how we generate a lot of leads on a daily basis and how we turn those leads into sales through email marketing. If you want, shoot us a message, happy to help. So with that, the third thing I want to talk about is data. So many times people are looking at the wrong data. They're looking at kind of that gross number. I've talked about it a little bit here. They're looking at that gross number of how many leads do I have in my system. I remember back in the day, in one of the industries I was in, I used to be in the real estate investor industry, and guys would just pound their chest about how big their list was, right? And, well, my list is this big, so if you only got a 20,000 person list, you're going to have to mail 5 times for me if I got a 100,000 person list. But here's what was happening is people with the 20,000 person engaged list were making more money than the guys with the 100,000 person list. They're getting more opens, more clicks, and everything else, right? So super important to be able to understand that data when you're doing this. So for us, things that are super important kind of are things we look for in email marketing is we want to look at our open rates, our click-through rates, Our click-through rates based on opens, right? We want to see what actions these people are taking. Is our list growing? Is it shrinking? And when you look at that data, you can have a better idea of what really is going on with your email subscriber base and start doing the right things. Then also, more importantly, if you're testing different offers and putting things in front of them, hey, is somebody clicking on a health option? Are they clicking on a finance option? What is it that they're clicking on inside of the stuff that you're doing? And you start segmenting them and seeing, now you can say, hey, look, I've got 10,000 people that are obviously highly interested in financial based on the newsletters we've been sending, but I've got 5,000 highly interested in the health space. So right, you can create more targeted offers that way, and your data allows you to do that, as opposed to the drama. It's not about how big the list is, about how engaged the list is. So hey, those are the 3 things I wanted to cover with you today. Real quick, if you gain value, do me a favor, like, comment, share this video with somebody who's not leveraging email marketing or is trying to leverage email marketing and needs a few tips to improve it. So with that said, thank you.